Hey everybody, this is S. Anthony Thomas. This is the S. Anthony Thomas Show, episode number 167. Look, I had actually planned on talking about something else in this episode, but I put up a question on on Instagram, and apparently people kind of, let's just say they reacted to it. And it was basically, I said, what would be worse if somebody wasted your time for 5 years or if somebody cheated on you within 5 months? Now, when you're doing a little reel on Instagram, you don't have a lot of time for nuance. And a lot of people have been asking me questions, and some people reacted in a way that let me know that I wasn't as clear as I needed to be. And when I said waste your time for 5 years, I wasn't referring this to a situation where you were in a relationship for 5 years and it just didn't work out, or you were in a relationship for 5 years and you weren't compatible, or you were in a relationship for 5 years and, you know, you grew apart, because that does happen. I wasn't talking about that. When I said wasted time, I meant literally wasting time. And if you get to a certain age, you know what it's like to be in a relationship where your time is wasted. That's one of those relationships where after it's over with, you look back and you realize the person never really was committed to you as their person. You know, they just kind of were around you, or maybe they were just sleeping with you. And a lot of times after it's over with, when you look back on it, you realize you were a placeholder to that person. They weren't actively looking for the next person, or maybe they were, but they're like, okay, I have somebody that I can, if I need to have a significant other for a birthday party or something like that, or if I need to be intimate with somebody, I know they're not out there doing anything. So I know that they know what to do, and I like doing that thing with them, but I don't have any real serious emotional connection with them. And I do have fun with them, and they just kind of have you hanging around. You know? It'd be like if you were the, quote, side person, but they don't have a main person, but they still treat you like a side person. You know, I've seen relationships. I've had that happen to me, but I usually kind of get out of there quickly if I detect that. But I had a friend of mine, and this is the reason that the conversation turned into that, because I was hanging around with a bunch of my friends, and we had this conversation. I don't know how we fell into it, but we did. And it was one guy who was talking about a relationship that he was in, and everybody around him knew it was complete crap, knew it was not good, but every time someone tried to give him their heads up, he would get defensive. Not aggressively defensive, but he would try to change the subject, and we all know what that means when someone changes the subject. Right? If somebody is dating you and they always introduce you as their friend, and even say you run into their relatives and all of a sudden you're not invited, or when you're invited, they kind of mix and mingle and don't introduce you and don't make you look like someone that's prominent in their life, right? The only time they say that they love you is when you're nude and doing nice stuff to each other's bodies. Other than that, they kind of keep their little standoffish. In some of those relationships, the person, like I said, sometimes they're not even seeing someone else. It's like, I just want somebody to get it on with on a regular basis if I want to. And I want to, if I decide I want to lay up with somebody or have somebody on my arm and I go some places, I need that person to do that. But they don't take you seriously. Right? And sometimes those relationships last for a long period of time. Sometimes you'll have a complete marriage that's just like that. I had a relationship that was like that. We were literally at each other's houses apartments all the time, right? We did what men and women do all the time. But if somebody called her apartment when I was there, right? And you know how sometimes you're waiting for those little signs, right? Like if you're in a healthy or happy relationship, they'll pick up the phone. Hey, what's going on? Oh, I can't talk now. I'm with him. I'm with my man right now. I'm with my guy right now. I'm with my girl right now. I can't talk. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. I'm with my girl now. And you get that thing. You get that little, you turn your head, or maybe they're talking behind your back. And if it was a TV show, there'd be a camera on you as they said that. And there'd be a little smile on your face. And that's when the music would bubble up and then they'd go to commercial, right? So in real life, you're hoping to have that moment where they make the phone call and somebody references you and you're waiting for them to claim you, and they do not claim you. Sometimes they don't even mention that you're there. Sometimes if they do mention you, they'll say, hey, how's he going or how's she going? Oh, yeah, that's my friend is here. Friend. And I'm not talking about where they have the friend, they say the word friend with the little wink, meaning this is my friend that I'm getting it on with. No, they say friend as if they're trying to imply you're just a friend of theirs. Meanwhile, you just did something with each other, if you understand what I'm saying. And if you're a young person and you don't mind just having it very super casual like that, and you feel the same way about that person that they feel about you, basically you're not even friends with benefits, you're acquaintances with benefits, and you both agree to that, fine. Nothing wrong with that, I guess. I mean, it's not the best situation, I would say, but if that's the best you can do at the time, okay, fine. But what if that's not what you want? What if you were led to believe that it was something serious when they really didn't feel that way? That's what I meant when I said wasting time, and we've all seen it. In fact, we may have all have been a part of that. Now, I have the two podcasts, this podcast, the S. Anthony Thomas Show, my other podcast, S. Anthony Says, and sometimes, because I do both podcasts, I don't remember sometimes what stories I told on what. All right. But I'll just give you a little short synopsis of something that happened to me. I was a young man, and I was dating someone that was a little bit older than, almost 10 years older than me. And I thought I had a girlfriend. And I was in that one of those wasting time relationships. She just wanted me around to do things to her body and to look cute on her arm when she went places. That's all she wanted. I didn't know that. So literally, think about this. You're a very young man, 19, maybe 20. I think I was at that age. She was probably 28, 29. So every time I saw her, we, right? And then when she wanted to go to the party or a concert and have a great time, she went with me. So all I knew was, I show up, we do that, I show up, we have a great time, and we did it a lot. So I'm thinking, this is fantastic. I've got a girlfriend and she's not, I was a placeholder for her and did not know. She even told me, oh, you're the greatest, you're the greatest, you're the best, you're the greatest, love, 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 love. She even played the game. She did more than other people did when they don't even acknowledge that they like it. She actually made me feel that I was actually someone that she gave a crap about because she wanted me to be around. But as I told before, and sometimes I change the stories a little bit to protect the innocent, but, I found out that she was unfaithful, right, in a very harsh way, right? And as it turns out, what she really wanted was, she wanted me to do what I do and to have fun with her and to, do that thing, if you understand what I'm saying. But she wanted to be with that guy because he had money. She basically wanted either me with his money or she wanted him to be like me, and there was a better chance of me getting his money than him being like me. So she figured, since I can't have the perfect guy, I'll just build a guy. I'll have my Lego Build-A-Dude kit, right? Most of the pieces came out of my box, and a few pieces came out of his box. It's just that his pieces were more expensive pieces because he made a lot of money and I didn't. And I didn't even want her to make a choice. I don't believe in this, you either choose that person or you choose me. Because if they went with the other person, if she got it on with the other person, which she did, then she made the choice already. She made the choice. So I got rid of her. I'm not the kind of person that likes to have his time wasted. So for those of you that were sending me direct messages regarding the Instagram post, that's what I was talking about. Now, obviously, like I said, if you saw the Instagram post that I made, it was waste your time for 5 years or cheat within 5 months. I've also had that happen, right? But it didn't bother me. It was still painful, but it didn't bother me as much because I wasn't necessarily super emotionally attached to this person. At the particular time, I was doing a lot of gigs back to back to back to back. So we didn't see each other as much as you would normally see each other if you're going to a 9-to-5 job and not traveling to different cities in your car telling jokes to drunk people like I was doing. So when I found out that this person was cheating, was it painful? Absolutely. Was it annoying? Absolutely. And it was even more annoying because, let's be honest, I'm standing on stage in front of hundreds of people, making them laugh for an hour, after every single show, let's just say offers are made to me. I'm turning down these offers because I had a girlfriend, I thought. Meanwhile, she's not turning down any offers because I was gone so much on the weekends. What am I going to do if you're gone on the weekends? I want to have fun on the weekends. It get big. Which leads to another question. Now, I may ask this on Instagram as well. And I'm going to ask this to you people who are listening to me right now. Would you take a cheater back? Would you take back someone who cheated on you? Would you allow yourself to get into a relationship with that person again? And before anybody sends me any messages asking me the question, I can tell you I haven't been cheated on a lot, thank goodness. But of the people that have, a small number, 2 or 3, I think it was like 2 or 3 if I remember correctly. No. And it was 3. And all 3 of them came running back. They thought the grass was greener on the other side. And when they jumped over the fence and stuck their feet in the grass, they realized it was either astroturf, brown grass that got painted, or it was decent grass that had a whole lot of snakes in it, and they just wanted to come back over this side of the fence. And I said, I don't think so, punk. Stay over there. Well, but you have to understand. I know I made a mistake, but everybody makes mistakes. I'm sorry that I did that because, I don't even remember what the rest of the bull crap she was saying was. I remember, right? But I'm saying to her, and I said to her, I said, listen, you've been to my shows. You got mad at me after every show because there was at least a couple of women rolling up on me after the show trying to put their phone numbers in my pocket, right? Even my little goofy looking behind has women coming up to me after the show putting phone numbers in my pocket, right? And I turned them all down, and you were mad at me. One time she showed up at a show to see what was going on. She saw these delicious women. Oh, you're so funny, cute little teddy bear, all up in my face. And you could tell by my body language that I was flattered, but I was making it very, very clear that I was off the market. She actually slipped into a back room. Well, it wasn't really a back room. It was one of those rooms where if you're in a comedy club, they put the beers. So it was like a curtain. And she slipped behind the curtain. I didn't know she was behind the curtain. These women were making a real full court press. And I said, listen, I got a girlfriend. I'm very, very flattered, and I appreciate that. But I have a girlfriend. I love her very much. And there's no way I can't do that because that would be cheating. And I never cheat. I never have cheated. I never will cheat. And I definitely wouldn't cheat on someone as special as she is. And she was behind the curtain to hear that crap. And you would figure, and if it was a television show or a movie, when the ladies went down the steps, she would come around, she would open up the curtain, and then the lovey-dovey music would waft up, and she goes, and I would turn around, hey, what are you doing behind the curtain? I was just trying to see whether or not you were going to cheat, and it's just great to know that you wouldn't cheat. And then I would go, hey. Never do this again, but it's good that you know that I'll never cheat. And she goes, I'm so sorry. Then I slobber down, yeah, right? And we walk behind the curtain. She pulls the curtain back, right? And then it goes to commercial. And nobody knows what happened behind the curtain. But if you know me, you know what happened behind the curtain. Nothing, because I'm not going to do anything where I work and lose my money. I'd give her a couple kisses behind the curtain and then take her back to my house or my hotel room or whatever. And give her that good deep business so good she thinks it's Christmas. But she caught me not cheating and she was upset. Right? Not the fact that I did anything, but the fact that other women were offering themselves to me, which means that she now deduced that it was happening often, which it was. It happens to all comedians that are not grotesque. In fact, it happens to the grotesque ones. There's no such thing as a grotesque person. No body shaming, no face shaming. None of that on this show. Thank you. Back to the story. But I'm not that type of guy. I never did that. I never will do that. And I don't take back cheaters. So I had to let her go when she cheated on me. You have to understand something about me, and I think most people are kind of like this. There's certain levels of betrayal that you'll allow Sometimes a betrayal is such a light betrayal that it almost feels like a disservice to use the word betrayal, right? Like I've seen people that have flirty spouses, but you could tell there's a difference with flirt. There's flirting where the person is flirting a little bit, but they will not cheat. They're not even thinking about cheating. And if the person they're lightly flirting with goes a little too far, they'll shut it down. Right? Now that's annoying. That's a pain in the neck. But even if you don't think the other person is going to cheat, sometimes you see couples that the other spouse is a cheater. I mean, not a cheater, but a flirter. And at first, the spouse that's not the flirter is getting upset. But after a while, they're like, well, this guy or this lady flirts all the time like that, but they ain't doing anything. And they just ignore it. They just ignore it. There's certain levels of betrayal we'll allow. There's businesses that add little fees on all the time. Right? Maybe the bank adds on these stupid fees. Or maybe the bank gives you a low interest rate. And you know we're getting ripped off by these chumps. But if the service is good enough, we allow the slight bit of betrayal. But sometimes people take it too far. You'll have a bank opening up accounts for people that don't exist. You have the person that's flirting and they look like they're flirting, and all of a sudden they put their coat into the closet and the phone number falls out and a matchbook case falls out from some hotel, and you're like, what the heck is this crap? We don't go to that hotel, right? So when I asked that question on Instagram, what's worse, 5 years of somebody wasting your time or cheating within 5 months? Obviously the realistic answer is they both suck. The 5 years sucks because you could have spent that 5 years or part of that 5 years with someone who actually wants to be with you. You could have had someone that would have been special, someone that would have been great, someone that would have been fantastic to be with you, somebody that you could have gotten married and had kids with. They probably passed through your life at the time and saw you the kind of person who takes commitment seriously, devoted to this person who doesn't really give a crap about you, so they backed off because they're also good people. Right? But you were stuck with this person. On the cheating side, you're sitting there going, and I remember having this conversation with a lady friend who cheated. I'm going, what are you? I said, it's bad enough you betrayed me, but you could have given me diseases and stuff. And she goes, no. I made sure that he wore a condom, and I was relieved that was the case, and I believed her when she said it. I believed her. But then I started to think, wait a minute, if you had that kind of forethought that you didn't want to get pregnant and you didn't want to catch any diseases and you didn't want to catch any and give me any diseases, it meant you thought about me during this time, which should have stopped you. And there's too many things between being dressed and in a happy relationship and respecting your significant other. There's too many steps between that and another guy parking his car up in your garage. Right? Maybe you hugged the guy too long. Right then and there, you should have shut it down. Maybe you kissed the guy. Maybe the guy kissed you in the face and you liked it a little bit. You should have shut it down there. Maybe you kissed. You should have shut it down there. Maybe you did, rubbed each other up and all of that crap. You should have shut it down there. Then you get into the car. You go to the hotel room. You could have shut it down there. You get in the hotel room. You should have shut it down there. You close the door behind. You should have shut it down there. You go through the process of slobbing each other down, all over each other, taking your clothes off, and the next thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire, and he's putting the condom on and putting his car up in your garage, and then at any point in time during that time, you could have stopped, but you didn't. Me, on the other hand, with the women after the shows and all of that kind of crap, I don't even let anything happen. Didn't let anything happen. The funny thing was, the opportunities were there and I didn't take advantage of them. So when I asked that question, what's worse, I knew that they both sucked. And I've also been subject and had something similar to both of those things happen to me. That's why I was curious. And that's why when my friends brought up that conversation, I knew that I could relate to both sides of those things. I knew I could relate to both. And I was curious if the general public, if the people that follow me on Instagram, a fair amount of people following at this point, how they would feel about it. And boy, did I find out. So, the correct answer obviously is they both suck. Okay? They both suck. And that's all I gotta say. They both suck. But you know what doesn't suck? Talking to you. That's right, my friends, my wonderful listeners. This is the S. Anthony Thomas Show. My name is S. Anthony Thomas. Thank you very much for listening to this program. Do me a favor, if you love this program, and you do, make sure that you rate and review this program, okay? Follow this program on whatever your podcatcher is. If you're listening to this on Spotify, please make sure you follow the podcast. Make sure you tell your friends and family or anybody you think would love to listen to my smooth tones, would like to listen to my smooth tones. If would like to listen to my smooth tones, make sure you tell them about the podcast, okay? I would appreciate it. And if you're following me on social media, which you should be doing, which you could very, very easily do by Googling my name, S. Anthony Thomas. Follow my social media, my friends. And if I put out a link to my podcast, do me a favor, my friends. If I re-X or whatever the hell that place is called, or put it on whatever other social media site and you see a link back to this podcast, do me a favor. Whatever. Repost it and send people back. I would really, really appreciate that, my friends. Much love to you. Thank you for listening for all this time. Can't wait to talk to you again. Take care, my friends. Take care.